What is the best revenge on a cheating partner? This is what my dad did. My mom cheated on him with the dad of a family she was a nanny for. In the divorce, she got half his pension and primary custody of my brother and I. Then she spent the next decade telling us a story that they split because my dad was too cheap about money and it led to too many arguments. Despite all of that, he ending up remarrying with an old flame from high school who owns a lucrative heating and air business that allows them to live quite comfortably. They bought a big plot of land in the countryside and started a horse and cattle farm like he always wanted. Now he's happier than I've ever seen him. My mom still doesn't know that I know all of this, and I go back and forth about confronting her on it. My wife left after I had a health issue so she could enjoy her life. I recovered, joined a gym, joined a whip dancing club and got out with friends at least 4 nights a week, took my grown kids out fishing on the weekends. Dated some, but more importantly made a lot of lady friends that really helped raise my self-worth. 11 years later I married a fantastic woman who makes my life wonderful. We've been together for almost 30 years now and she told me she owes my ex a debt of gratitude for making me available. My ex quickly married a bar hookup who refused to work and she had to support them both. She's still unhappy with her life. Best revenge: live your best life while the other rots because of the consequences of her or his own actions. Okay, so let me add a dash of reality and compassion to this mostly correct sentiment. Live your best life and never mind how the other person is doing. Are they rotting? It doesn't matter because your goal is to not care about them and where they are. Maybe they are happy, maybe they are miserable, you should aim to not care, only then do you have closure. I have a cheating ex, and I do remember the time when she loved me and I loved her and we had good times. For the sake of that person, I hope she's happy. Then there is the cheating or leaving side of her, and for that person, I just want to forget. Well, at some point, I realized I achieved closure because I thought about her without a twinge of regret or malice or longing. She was just another person that wasn't in my life anymore. And I like that I didn't care. Not my story, but from a much, much older Reddit post. A man comes home one day to find that his wife has been cheating on him with another man. Due to the unfair laws against men in divorce settlements in this country, he loses the house to her. In a matter of weeks, the BF moves in and they begin their happy new life in the house his money bought and paid for. Furious and wanting some form if mild revenge, he makes one of his final visits to the home for the purpose of picking up his things while his ex is away at work. While eating lunch, he gets a devilish idea. He takes the shrimp shells from his plate and stuffs them into the empty spaces of the curtain rods of all the rooms. Within days, the ex calls him complaining of the smell, but he insists that he smells nothing on every visit to pick up his things. The smell gets worse. First, they tear the house apart looking for the source and can't find it. Then they get fed up and try to sell it, but nobody wants to buy it because no matter how long you leave the windows open, and no matter how many vanilla candles you light, there's no getting rid of shrimp stink. The value of the house plummets, and it's about to go off the market when she begs her ex to buy it from her, which he does at a massively discounted price. The shrimp shells get removed, the curtain rods get replaced, and he reclaims his home. I must say, I found it funny 5 years ago when I read, "Go to dinner alone, go see a movie alone, enjoy your own company and learn to wake up and feel good all by yourself." When my last relationship ended, I said, "F it, I'll try." It was one of the best movie experience ever. I just enjoyed it so much. Dinner? Not so much, but still a great introspection. All in all, I figured I could be happy by myself, which made me realize I don't need someone. I am just also happy to share my life with someone else and make them happy. I recommend to anyone to at least try those silly experience at least once, plus every other thing you could do to work on yourself. I personally also started my gym journey, eating better, sleeping more, taking time for me, sticking to promises, doing the things I set out to do. All of those are also important when facing tough times. Girl I knew got pregnant at 19 with a guy she knew for 2 months over social media before meeting him in person. Getting pregnant almost right when she got back, she actually had a pregnancy scare right before 2 LOL. Guess what? They weren't going to last. The relationship was extremely toxic. She keeps the baby and moves in with BF at his grandma's house. Both of them together practically let the grandma raise the baby. She lost almost all her friends due to isolation, jealous boyfriend. It was horrible to watch. Everyone saw it coming through. Anyways, fast forward a while, and one of the fights they had, she proceeded to make an Instagram post about how horrible he is, and she doesn't feel loved and blah blah blah. Our whole group rolled their eyes, not because of being messed up, but rather her ignoring all of our collective advice with this dude at every turn. Time after time, she had chances to leave this dude, but ignored every red flag and proceeded to have a baby with him. Besides that, she was also someone who did this frequently and then would upload a nice couple's picture with a loving caption. I straight up commented on her picture, and told her that she is making herself look bad by constantly bitching publicly and embarrassing both of them, then somehow totally flipping the switch. If you're going to stay with this dude, at least keep your dirty laundry to yourself. I knew exactly how she'd react. She commented back with generic snapbacks like, "You don't know my life, and I can do what I want, it's my page." Never saw her again from that point forward, and neither did any of my other friends. It took a while, but that girl and her BF did eventually split up. I don't harbor bad feelings for her, and even if she still doesn't like me, I know that she knows I was right. Everyone else, too. I just hope that kid turns out okay, because those two were absolutely batshit crazy together, and I could only imagine what was said in the house. So when I was in my 20s, I was with this girl I really cared about. Thought it was really going to last forever. Beautiful, sweet, smart, independent. I mean, I got a real sense she wanted to be with me and not needed to be with someone. Made me feel great. I one day caught her fucking another dude. I was absolutely devastated. But instead of yelling, screaming, and acting violent or angry, I just said, "Oh shit. Sorry," and left. Never picked up the phone again. Never went to get my stuff or any other nonsense. Just cut her off. She called and left voicemails and texted me. They started out as, "You have to let me explain," to, "Please give me another chance," to, "The fact that you showed no emotion or anything and have just cut me off shows you never cared about me anyway." Eventually, she said she hated me and was glad she did it. Then she would apologize and say, "Please talk to me." It was pretty obvious that my reaction was eating her up inside. It hurt, but you move on. It's fine. In the end, she wasn't the right one. I'm happily married with 2 kids and 2 dogs and a house now. Life is full of ups and downs. Don't let them define you. I had an ex-BF who cheated on me, and he ended up marrying his affair partner. About 6 months after that, I got what was basically his dream job. We both worked for the same company, do not recommend. I didn't know it at the time, but learned later that he'd applied for it as well and had lobbied hard for it, but I won it, and it was announced globally that I'd gotten the promotion. He left the company shortly after that. I hope it was because I got the promotion he wanted. He married the aforementioned AP and they had a couple of kids. Which I found out because our community newspaper, really mostly adverts from local businesses with a couple of articles about locals and such, did a piece on working moms, featuring my ex's new wife among others, talking about how hard it is to contribute to the household without spending all your income on daycare and other conundrums. The article talked about how she'd tried about half a dozen MLM schemes and caused problems in her marriage, because she was spending more than she was bringing in. All she wanted was a legitimate work-from-home job so she could make an income and stay home with her children. The thing was, less than a year after I got my promotion to my ex's dream job, it transitioned to a full-time work-from-home position. I ended up never working in my company's office building ever again. So not only did I have his dream job, but I had her dream scenario of getting to work from home, but I got to stay home with my cat. It was glorious. I can only hope this information trickled back to him somehow. An ex-GF about 10 years ago emailed me to say it wasn't working out and that she had met the unconditional love of her life, something she told me I was LOL. So, needless to say, I was a bit hurt, but not much I could do about it. I chewed on it for a while and got really pissed off the more I thought about it. I eventually moved on with life, and basically forgot about her entirely, like pushed so far out of my mind and memories that I legit never thought about her at all. I ended up running into her several years afterwards working at a hotel reception desk and straight up didn't even notice her. She was acting a little bitchy and I didn't know why and chalked it up to her having a rough day or something. Got my key and got settled in my room. The next morning I was coming out to get ready to head to work and was in the lounge area where they have the waffles and shit, and she taps me on the shoulder. I assume she worked all night, and proceeds to challenge me. and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. If I did something to offend you, I'm so sorry, but who the fuck are you? Or something to this effect. And then she said, I'm so glad I married underscore 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 and not you. You're such a piece of shit. And then I was like, oh, as the light finally came on, she looked like she was very miserable in life, and that made me very, very, very happy. She was a real tool. Looking back on it, I am kind of proud of myself that I managed to completely move on with my life, that I didn't even remember what she looked like. LOL, I am amazed that she expected me to dwell on her as if she was the greatest thing that ever happened to me and that I lost her. Like it seems she almost expected me to dwell on it for years and be depressed about it, as if that wasn't enough. I met a woman in Germany who is like the female version of me. It's pretty awesome. Funny how life works out when you just go with the flow, eh? I'm pretty sure I was cheated on once, when a girlfriend ghosted me, 6 months into our relationship. Starting when she didn't show up for a date on her birthday. I saw her internet activity, but she didn't respond to me at all. I assumed she cheated on me and was too ashamed to face me. I quickly stopped caring about her as I started dating the girl I would eventually marry about 4 months later. The revenge was about a year later when I was walking through a transit station in my army uniform. I had gotten in much better shape and the uniform looked good on me. I saw her from across the station standing near my exit. She actually tried to wave at me, but I didn't even turn to look. Amazingly enough, I saw her 2 more times after that over the years. Maybe 4 years later, I was biking home along a very nice beach and I saw someone wave at me. I didn't bother to stop, but I kept a camera on my bike and watched the footage when I got home. It was her again. I saw her again maybe 5 years after that when I was leaving a store after exchanging a pair of pants for my wife. I was on the phone with her and she started walking towards me with a smile. I just sidestepped her and kept moving. Then my wife told me she wanted me to go back to the store and get a different size. I think the ex thought I didn't see her the first time, so she tried approaching me again. Sidestepped again. Then the third time, after getting the correct size of pants, I went back by the same spot and saw her sitting on a bench looking sad. We locked eyes and I just laughed and walked away.